What's up, guys? So, when I first got to Fort Rucker back in 2011 for the instructor pilot course, one of the first things I was taught was how to establish intellectual dominance over your students. This is a real theory. Now, the easiest way to do that is to offhandedly throw out the phrase, oh, that's because of conservation of angular momentum. It's also the quickest way to get your students' eyes to glaze over. But anybody that understands a figure skater pulling their arms in and spinning faster, putting their arms out and spinning slower, understands conservation of angular momentum. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, because Adam and I have been arguing about whether or not the GT350R is worth it beyond its tires, and there's some really bad information out there, like this Car and Driver article we're going to be picking on, although we're going to use a lot of their numbers. So there are lots of different weights for the GT350R wheels out there, but we're going to use the ones from the Car and Driver article. Now, what's important here is that Ford is kind of misleading in their press releases. When they claim a weight savings for the wheel, and this is where a lot of the confusion comes from, they're talking about the wheel and tire package. Well, the Cup 2 tires are significantly lighter than the regular Pilot Supersport tires. So why does that matter? Well, if you look at the formula for rotational inertia, you'll notice that this distance is squared, right? So the importance of the weight goes up exponentially as I get further and further from the hub. What does that mean? Well, that means if I save a pound here, that's worth more than 2 pounds at the rim. Now, all of the weight of those carbon fiber wheels is not concentrated here, right? That weight is spread out all the way down to the hub. If you want proof of that, just look at the wheels and tires on the GT350 and the GT350R. The front wheels are heavier than the rear wheels, even though the rear wheels are wider. Why is that? Because you've got a whole bunch of weight in this hub to create enough offset to clear the brakes. Now, the other big problem with the GT350, GT350R comparison in that Car and Driver article is that they talk about the acceleration times, and they claim that doing rolling acceleration adjusts for any advantage of the tires. Well, that's total BS. The tires are an inch shorter, right? So that's essentially like saying these two Mustangs are identically prepared, but the one on the left has been sprinkled with fairy dust, and it's 0.3 of a second faster to 60 miles an hour. The problem is this one has 373 gears, and this one has 390 gears. Obviously, the one with 390 gears is going to accelerate faster. That's what you've got going on with the GT350R. So of all of their performance claims, you're looking at about a 9% improvement in acceleration times, which is massive. The problem is about 7.5% of that performance improvement is from the diameter of the tires and that gearing improvement. The rest of it is a reduction in rotational inertia, or so we think. But the tires actually reduce rotational inertia more than the wheels. So my argument is if you put the GT350R tires on a regular GT350, if you could account for the suspension tuning, you'd basically be indistinguishable in lap times from a GT350R. But Adam's argument is that the GT350R is a bargain because to build one would cost so much money on its own. Now, I think that's Ford just kind of playing around with perceived value. If you tell somebody, hey, these wheels are $18,000 or whatever they are, then everybody thinks, oh wow, what a great deal. I can get this car, it's only a few $1,000s more, and I get a free set of $18,000 wheels and a $12,000 spoiler. Awesome. But again, that's just Ford playing this perceived value game. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. Would a GT350 on the R tires, but with the regular wheels, be distinguishable from a GT350R, you think, on track? My guess is that for amateurs like us, we wouldn't know the difference and we wouldn't be able to prove it with lap times. But hopefully when I get back in a year, we can find out.